Alright, so for this video we're going to be making disc beads. Now, disc beads are really nice just because they're kind of an unusual shape. You don't really see a lot of them here in the United States. Mostly you see them coming out of the Philippines. Now, I can't really tell you what their secret to making disc beads is, but I love the shape, and this is how I learned to make mine. So we had cut some strips earlier. These strips are going to be approximately a 1/4 inch wide. The paper I used was scrapbook paper, kind of lightweight scrapbook paper, not cardstock, and they're about 12 inches long. We're going to be making 3 different size disc beads, and just so you know, the sky's the limit. You can make as many different sizes as you want, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you 3 different sizes, just so that you can see how really simple they are. The secret to disc beads, making a disc, is exactly that. It's kind of a small saucer. Imagine 1950s flying saucer, okay? Very narrow at the width, very long, so we're creating a disc. So we're going to make a baby disc first. When we do that, we're not going to use 1 sheet of paper. We're going to use 3. Stacking your sheets is what creates that lip to flow out from the center of your bead, creating that disc. Okay, 3 different sheets of paper. We're going to take our little strip of tape, and begin rolling it on our plastic tubing. Okay, this is just a Q-tip that I've removed the cotton tip off of. Okay, there we go. Let's start rolling. Just roll them to the center, pinch those ends. When you get to the last few inches, okay, 3 or 4 inches, go ahead and fan those out, give it some glue, and finish rolling. Okay, I call these baby discs because they look like little buttons to me. They're about button size, like a dress shirt button, and I just think they're cute as a button. Okay, that was really bad, but it's mine, alright? So anyway, we've just created a little tiny small disc. Okay, so this is where it's going to start getting interesting. The next size that we're going to make is a medium disc. Now, what changes? Almost nothing, actually. We're still going to use the same strips that we already had cut out. Still going to be about a 1/4 inch by about 12 inches. The difference is we're going to add layers. For our baby disc, we had 3 sheets. For our medium, we're going to add 3 more. So we're going to have a total of 6 sheets. Okay? The key with disc beads are layers. Nothing more than that, nothing less than that. Your cuts don't change, your strips don't change, only the quantity of strips that you wrap at once. Okay, so we have our 6, we've lined them up. We're going to add our little bit of tape here. Grab our tubing. Oh, and if you lose one of your strips, don't worry about it, just add it back in. And start rolling. Okay, center roll it. When you get to the last 4 inches or so, fan them out. Add some glue. And start rolling again. Now, when you'll notice that they're kind of going all different directions. If they start to get tangled up or start to wrinkle, grab one of your toothpicks, just the pointy end, and straighten them back out. That'll actually, if you put it in between your sheets, it'll straighten them back out so that they'll form that point for you. Okay, give it a few spins, pinch it and shape it. Give it a trim. Alright, what do you think about that? We've got another little disc. Alright, Let's make another one. Only this time, instead of it being 6 sheets, we're going to do 12 sheets. Or excuse me, we're going to do 9 sheets. We're going to add 3 more. Okay. Alright, so now we have our 9 sheets. We're going to stack them up, kind of tap them down so that they line up at the ends. Add our tape. Add our Q-tip. Okay, now you'll notice when you start rolling these that as you start getting into more layers, it starts getting a little harder to wrap them, especially that first lump or step when you very first start. And that's just because of all the different layers of papers that you have. Now bear in mind, the more layers, the harder it's going to be to roll, but you can do it. It's not complicated, it's just repetition. The bigger the disc, the more sheets of paper. We don't change a cut, we don't do anything complicated, we just change how many layers we're using. That's it. And you'll notice on that one actually some of my strips actually did flip over. Can you see that white spot? My glue is actually still tacky at this point, so I'm going to lift those back up and use my toothpick to straighten them back out. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm kind of going in between the sheets and just straightening them back out. Okay, get them lined back up. There we go. Now give it a pinch. Trim the end, and we have just made 3 different sized disc beads. See, look at that, just like a little flying saucer. Okay? We didn't change our cuts. All we did was change how many layers we were rolling at once. Those little rough ends that you see with the tape sticking out, if you take a pair of flush cutters or wire cutters, you can actually trim that off pretty easily. That's not a problem. As a matter of fact, I usually do need to go back through and trim those up a little bit. So just for the sake of getting the hang of it, let's roll one more. And for this one, I'm going to actually just add on a couple more sheets of paper so you can see. So last time we had 9. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's bump this up to 12 sheets. Okay? And create an even bigger size disc. These are really fun. These are probably one of my most addicting beads, just because it's simple and they look really complex. Actually, of all of the beads that I do, this is one of the ones that I get the most requests for people to show me how and or show them how, and they're always blown away by how simple they really are. It's just not complicated. Okay. Get those lined up. Add our tape. Plastic tubing. Okay, so we've got an even bigger first step when we start rolling. Okay. Fan these out. when you're working with this many sheets. Hopefully you are more graceful than I am, for sure. I find that at some point I just simply get them all tangled up, but you know what? The end result, totally worth it. I can see by that white spot we've got one more that's flipped here. There we go. Oops. I have some glue on my fingers and it totally just undid all of my hard work. I was trying to get that straightened back out. You can certainly see that the bigger ones are a little bit more complicated to get wrapped, or at least get your ends in control. But once you do, totally worth it. So this is our 12 sheet. This is our 9 sheet. This is our 6 sheet. And this is our 3 sheet. Alright, we've just made paper discs, disc beads. Alright, so happy beading!